Welcome back, artists. I'm Wyatt Paints, and this week I'm filming in 4K. Fancy, right? This week's sponsor, 3DX Files, sent me over their sculpt of Venom T-Rex, or it could be Venomsaurus. I don't know. There's a lot going on in the Spider-Verse. Heck, they even have a magic set coming out, and you can guess how I feel about that, because nothing says magic like laptops and cell phones. Sarcasm. Thankfully, Venom is all vibes and gnarly teeth, so with a good exercise of the fundamentals, I'm sure we'll have another awesome sculpt to add to the shelf. For now, meet me over at the painting table. I'm gonna grab my brushes. Let's get started. Before painting, I had a few seams to deal with. Normally, I'd use Tamiya putty, but I was fresh out, so plastic putty it is. This is thinner right out of the tube, so no need to dilute it. Just a thin bead along the seam, and then smooth it with a damp brush. Keeping your strokes perpendicular to the gap will prevent the bristles from digging out the groove. After that, a clean wet brush will help wipe away the excess from all the details. Keep in mind, plastic putty does shrink when drying, so sometimes a second or third pass is needed. But with a complicated surface like this, I didn't want to risk burying all those details, so one and done was good enough. Any warped areas got a quick sanding before I glued on the legs and gave them the same treatment. Once primed, the seams were still faint if you knew where to look, but honestly, practically invisible. Time for paint. This base looks like a muddy dinosaur graveyard with a small tuft of grass. So I laid down a coat of bootstrap brown, nice and smooth. Then I swapped to a big floofy brush for a whisper soft dry brush of monster brown to bring out that surface texture. I kept it nice and light because I want the dirt to stay rich and dark. It looked a bit too bright, so I toned everything back down with some sepia ink, which also gave it that slightly wet look. Then it came back for another round of monster brown and a big brush to highlight the surface again. Layering like this feels redundant at times, but it really sells a natural look. And sure enough, now it was looking like mud. All of the bones got a coat of dusty skull for the base. They ended up looking a little too clean to be half buried in muck, so I gave them the same sepia ink treatment to dirty them up, which also helped cover up any overspill onto the ground. Once that's set, I hit them with another fluffy dry brush of dusty skull and pushed the highlights much lighter than on the mud so the bones would stick out without losing their grime. Next, the tuft of grass was fairly simple, starting with a scarab green base. Followed by an edge highlight of Temple Gate Teal. This bluish tint gives it a slightly fantastical vibe while still fitting within the scene. Finally, there is one prop that goes to this base, this tiny little dino here. I imagine it's a scavenger that hides among the plants, so I painted it to camouflage in those colors. Starting with the base coat of the teal, followed by a quick stipple of scarab green for dark markings along its back. Then I stippled elemental bolt on the belly for a subtle light pattern. Nothing too fancy, since this is an area most people won't see. Then a quick slash of red in the mouth and a couple of black dots for eyes, and our little scavenger was done. Before we move on to the main attraction, I'd like to take a few seconds to thank my subscribers over on Patreon. Each month, your continued support keeps the paint flowing, and I can't thank you enough. And this month, I'm proud to announce a few new names etched into the halls of greatness: Groves and Full-Hearted Craft Girl. Those are two names that'll forever resonate in the halls of greatness. You have ascended. If you would like to join the Painting Pantheon, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the description below. I'd also like to extend a huge thank you to this week's sponsor, 3DX Files. They provided this week's sculpt, and as usual, it delivered the goods. Leave it to 3DX Files to not only put out a quality sculpt, but also highlight characters and variants that usually get pushed aside for the more mainstream versions. If you want to get your hands on this and many other amazing sculpts, be sure to check out their link below. Heck, you might just find your next project. In the meantime, that big lizard is roaring for some attention. Let's get back to it. Getting on with the T-Rex itself, my first step is to black out the underside. And yeah, I did prime in black, but some of the deeper areas only got a light dusting. So this is going to ensure I start with an even black tone and a uniform matte finish. Next up, Nightmare Black. Now this will seem like an extra silly step, especially since it looks nearly black, but in person, this very subtly shifts this towards the blue, and it's going to give me a great foundation to achieve that ash that I'm looking for. So putting this down now not only starts that transition, but also starts keying me into the areas I might want to have lighter highlights. Now to start pushing those highlights a bit, Night Sky got mixed in about 1 to 4 parts Nightmare Black. Using this as an overbrush, I can softly block in the larger masses. Since this is nice and thinned down, it'll gently blush up those areas to a deep ash blue that I'm looking for, while fading into pure black towards the edges. Finally, I came back in with just Night Sky and a very low paint load, stiff bristle dry brush. And for a bit of insurance, I start in the heavily detailed areas that should get the most highlighting, and then as my brush has less and less paint on it, move to the flatter areas where the details are softer. This will help mitigate the risks of hitting your model with an overloaded brush. Next, I flipped him over and started laying down the ash gray over his back. As usual, when we want something to look white, the best results come when we paint it light gray instead. And laying down a medium gray is the foundation for that. While a majority of this is going to be easy breezy, there's no getting around having to break out the detail brush for all of those little tendrils. So throw on something for the background and lock in. You're gonna be here for a while. I put on an anime called Ugly Mug Epic Fighter. Highly recommend it. And speaking about those tendrils, these look intimidating, but it's all good. You don't have to paint every tiny bit of it. Just paint down as far as you feel confident. If the vein looks too thin for you to accurately paint it, it's better for the piece overall if you let it meld into the dark portion. No shame in that game. But if you do go down to the tip, be sure to not overload your brush or you will flood it out. It's not the end of the world if you do, but you're gonna have some cleanup afterwards. When I got to the head, I realized the tendrils go over its mouth bits, so it only made sense to pause and switch gears to paint that right now. And it's going to be simple enough, starting with a base of chaotic red for the inside of the mouth and tongue. Then it's time for a thin down highlight of flat red to really punch up the visceral look. Really get in there and pick out those details with a few quick swipes. Next, Tomb King was in order for those teeth, and with a mouth this wide open, it's important not to forget those back sides as well. Really get up in there. To gunk up those chompers, I used a bit of soft tone. And yeah, I could have used sepia for this, but soft tone is slightly thicker, and I could use that to play around with a bit of texture. Once the initial pass was down, I came back at it with a thin down version for a general all over funk. Then, just like the bones, it's just a matter of hopping back and forth between shades and highlights until I landed on a look that really resonated with me. With the mouth done, I finished off all the tendrils in the area. Finally, I used Spaceship Exterior as a dry brush across all of the light gray areas. This will bring out all the veiny details and have this area read as white as painlessly as possible. Just slowly dry brush all of the details, being sure to get complete coverage on the protruding bits and avoiding any overspill on the blue. That would not be a fun cleanup job. Also, it's not a bad idea to get in with a detail brush and base the eyes for a bit more readability. And before I put these grays away, it'd be a really good idea to flip this over and take care of the insignia in the same way. Last but not least, I wanted to add a bit of a special effect, and we can do so with a touch of Oohoo glue. Just use a toothpick and stir it up until you can pick up a glob, and then touch your tooth and then drag it to another point of contact. But be quick though, you only have a few seconds of working time. If you're too slow, you'll end up with a bungee cord looking mess. If that happens, you can clear the mess quickly before it sets and try again. But remember to pick it off. If you rub it off, it'll be a disaster. Also remember, this is absolutely a less is more effect. It's very easy to do too much. But with that said, this lizard is done. And oh boy, did this turn out well. Terrifying yet kinda cute. Maybe that's just me. Either way, I'm happy how the dark blue scheme of Venom turned out. Personally, I think it's my favorite highlight style for him. And honestly, it kind of gets me in the mood to do a Venom Spider-Man diorama. Maybe. Oh, and be sure to tell me in the comments what do you guys think about me filming in 4K. Regretfully, I found out while editing it, I absolutely need more lights. So I guess a third lamp is on the shopping list. Hopefully I'll find the auto white balance setting and be able to shut it off permanently. In the meantime, I want to thank 3DX Files once again for sponsoring this video and providing the sculpt. Be sure to use their link below to check out their entire catalog. Unfortunately, I've got a whole lot of projects that I gotta get working on, so as usual, this is where I leave you. But as always, thanks for watching, stay creative, and always enjoy the process.